Kamala Harris is trying to get out of debating President Trump. Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. The Brian Craig Show podcast is brought to you by Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, who will never sell you a roof you do not need. Okay, so usually we get 2-3 debates with presidential candidates. This time, Kamala has only agreed to one with President Trump, and now she's trying to get out of it, which, of course, we understand because she's awful at debates. She's vacuous. And what she's doing is she's trying to change the rules that they agreed to. The first, this is an interesting thing because
she's terrified.
Yeah, the rules that they have for this ABC debate. Now, I want you to understand, the woman that runs ABC introduced Kamala Harris to her husband. So this is a close personal friend of theirs that runs ABC. So imagine that, right? The boss is a close personal friend that introduced you to your husband. The people that work over there at ABC, whoever the commentators are, they all hate him, and they're all behind her, okay? And the debate rules are the ones that the Trump campaign agreed with the Biden campaign on, which are the ones they had on the CNN debate.
Yeah, and that worked out so well.
Yeah, for us, yeah. So
I'm saying that was a mess for them.
So Kamala is trying to change the debate rules to try to get Trump to drop out.
Right.
She wants to be able to sit down and have notes. She wants to not have the mics muted when one's talking. And Trump came out today. He doesn't care. He says those were the rules. She's afraid to debate. He says, I like the mics muted. That worked out well last time, but we can leave them on. It doesn't matter. And she is doing everything she can do to get out of this debate. And there's no way, even with having her allies at ABC News protecting her, Trump's got to debate her and them. They're going to be protecting her. She's still going to come out destroyed.
Well, they want the rules the exact opposite of what they were with Biden.
Yeah.
And they thought that
exactly.
If they set up these rules with Biden, it would help him, and it actually hurt him very badly. So now they're trying to do the exact opposite with her. It doesn't matter what they do. She's a mess.
Yeah.
She's stupid.
Yes. That's true.
Trump, she is in over her head. I don't know if she's capable of being self-aware. I don't think so. But I wonder if she wakes up in a panic in the middle of the night because of what's happening, because she is so in over her head, and there's no way she got here on her own. She's been placed here by the deep state. They've been manipulating and controlling this whole thing, and she's just been standing where they point. And I think she is terrified of him, and I read that she's been practicing with a Trump impersonator.
Oh, my God. Who's that, Alec Baldwin?
No, like somebody who really has the mannerisms down.
Oh, my goodness.
But the thing is,
really?
I've noticed
How embarrassing.
In his last debate and lately, Trump is just, his demeanor is different when he's debating, at least in the last one. His arms were down by his side. He wasn't as animated. Mm-hmm. He was much more calm. And I think his new strategy is to just stand there and let the other person destroy themselves, which is what happened with Biden. He really didn't have to do anything. So she's trying to get out of it. You're right. She's terrified of this. She probably can't sleep at night now because it's getting closer and closer. What I think Trump should do is say, look, whatever she wants, I'll do it. I don't care. It's just the American people, just like he handled Biden, because no matter what rules they have, she's going to screw it up.
It depends on how self-aware Kamala is. Like Forrest Gump, if you remember Forrest Gump?
She's pretty dumb.
There's this scene in Forrest Gump at the end when he finds out he's got a son, and then he says, is he like something like normal or something? And it was like this moment where they let you know in the movie that Forrest Gump knows that he's off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's when you finally realize he does know what's wrong.
Is Kamala Harris self-aware enough to know that she's stupid and not ready for prime time? These people, if you go back to when Trump did that town hall with Caitlin Collins on CNN and he cleaned her clock, she wasn't prepared for that because she's in this Trump-hating bubble. Well, you only built so much wall, which wasn't true, and all this. He filleted her because she believed the liberal Trump derangement syndrome perception of Trump and all these talking points about Trump and his everything that he's done that aren't true. And Kamala could very well be in that. I believe Trump is skilled enough that he could beat her in a debate even if he didn't have a mic. Right.
He could beat her in a debate if he didn't even show up.
Yeah, really.
And she was there by herself.
If Kamala...
And you just had a cutout of him.
Kamala,
he'd destroy her still.
Kamala is afraid to even do an interview with one of her fake news liberal media friends.
Yeah, she's really
because
dumb.
She knows after the interview, when the interview's over and people start discussing it, she's going to look like a fool. So I think she's aware of her limitations, and I think she's afraid of Trump. And this also goes back to this incredibly brilliant psyops that President Trump is running by bringing Tulsi Gabbard in to practice with. I don't believe he's practicing with Tulsi Gabbard. I don't think he needs to practice with anyone, especially her. But she's
advising him, I think, or giving him intel is what I think. Yeah. He's doing a deep dive.
Well, he's bringing
psyops.
He's bringing Tulsi Gabbard into the mix to throw her off. Because,
get in her head.
Because Tulsi Gabbard beat her in the last debate, ran her out of the race. He's going to have Tulsi Gabbard sitting in the front row where Kamala has to look at her the whole debate. It's psyops.
Yes.
Trump, he said today he was with the Vietnamese at the people at this Vietnamese restaurant. He says, whatever, I'll do, they could do it. They're trying to change the rules. She doesn't want to do it. I'll do it. It doesn't matter. I'd rather have this. I'd rather have that. But so what? We'll do it. She's not going to go all the way through Election Day without answering a question, doing an interview, or having a debate.
She's trying her damnedest.
Yeah.
She is trying her damnedest. And the thing is, Trump is putting out all these great ads. And she put out an ad that had Trump's border wall in the ad. Can you believe it? Talking about how tough she is on the border, which is a joke. She is still the border czar right now, currently, but she still has not closed the border or done anything. So if you think she's going to magically wake up on January 1st or whenever she's inaugurated, I don't know, January something, 3rd, 6th, whatever it is. Okay, anyway, she's not going to wake up on Inauguration Day, which is 6 months from now, and all of a sudden a brain is going to be implanted in her head like in The Wizard of Oz. She's dumb now, and she's going to be dumb then, and she could fix the border now. Like Trump said, you don't need an act of Congress to close the border. He did it with an executive order, boom, and they're not doing it. She's the border czar. She's not going to fix a damn thing. It's going to be the same thing, even worse. Her policies are big government, big spending. This is all Democrats know how to do. Is they know how to spend your money and tax you, and they think that's the answer to every problem is throwing money at a problem.
This thing with the debate, okay, with Kamala debating. Kamala hasn't taken one question from one reporter.
No, and she did a couple near the.
No, those don't count. And most of the media are friends with her. Okay, this thing over the weekend with Tom Cotton, with Jonathan Karl from ABC News, where it was bizarre. Maybe we'll play it later, maybe not. But the left wing mainstream media are in her camp, and she's afraid to talk to them. I still stand by my belief that the Democrat Party has, amongst themselves, accepted that they're going to lose the presidential election. If they thought Kamala had a chance at all, they would make her the president now. And they could push Biden out with the 25th Amendment right now if they wanted. They could have done it when they got him to drop out of the campaign. They could have done it. Obama called Biden and said, we've got the support for the 25th Amendment, and Kamala's going to invoke it if you don't step aside. That's what got him to step out of the campaign. And then they would have her running as an incumbent. She would be president. They did not do that. And if you look at the coverage from CNN, forget about the rest of the press like ABC, CNN over the weekend, they had Cory Booker on. And Cory Booker was talking about how Kamala's a new day and all this stuff. And the guy on CNN said to Cory Booker, Democrats have controlled the White House for 12 out of the last 16 years.
That's right.
How can you say this is new? You guys wrote the book. That was a CNN anchor. Okay, so CNN is where to go to find out what the establishment of the Democrats and the deep state are doing. And they're not backing Kamala. In fact, they're undermining Kamala just like they did Biden. MSNBC and ABC don't count. I'm talking about CNN. So I am fully confident that we're going to win. I have not a worry in the world.
It's interesting because you've been saying for weeks that Kamala has been set up to fail.
Yes.
And the other day, Jack Posobiec, who is military intelligence, ex-military intelligence, he tweeted the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
He said Kamala is being set up to fail.
That's correct.
He said they're focusing on the House and the Senate. They know she's going to lose. I don't know how they can win the House and the Senate without a strong candidate. I thought those two kind of went hand in hand, but I have my own theory on that. So I don't want to say on the show, but you can come to your own conclusions. But they're focusing on the smaller races, the more localized races than the presidential race. And they know she won't win and she's the sacrificial lamb. And frankly, probably a distraction for them that they need.
It's what's called a sacrifice candidate. There's a lot of times when there's a presidential election and the candidate for one of the parties, sometimes they're the incumbent, sometimes they're not. They're so popular that no one that thinks they have a political future wants to run against them. So what they do usually is they plug somebody in who's been with the party for a long time.
Like John McCain.
And let them go. Let them go out. He was one of them. Let them go out as a presidential candidate. First time I realized this was Bob Dole. Bob Dole in '96 ran against Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, as crazy as this sounds, was very popular at the time. Things in the country were going pretty well because the internet just took off and he was benefiting from that. And there was no way to beat Bill Clinton in '96. Bob Dole had been in the Congress forever, so they gave it to John McCain. And in 2008, no one was going to beat Barack Obama, so they plugged in John McCain as a sacrifice candidate. Now, and this time, the Democrats have plugged in Kamala Harris as a sacrifice candidate, and they really didn't give her much of a choice. They kind of pushed her into doing it, and she's going to go out a loser. What they were talking about doing, and this isn't going to happen now because she's going to go out in a humiliating defeat, and she looks like an idiot. They were talking about a few months ago of when they thought that they might do the broker convention thing and bring in Gavin Newsom or something. They were talking about running Kamala Harris for governor of California if Gavin Newsom were to take over the nomination. But when they realized in their internal polling that Trump was unbeatable, they didn't have Gavin Newsom run. I think but she's going to go retire to nothing.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that they have internal polling. That's like you said. That's very different than what you see. The polling you see on the news, you can't go by that.
No,
and their internal polling, they matched up. Like you said, Newsom, Cuomo, maybe all these other guys, Kelly, that were thinking about it, and they know they're like, there's no way I'm going to beat this guy. So, like you said, they put her up because nobody else wanted to do it. Same with Tim Walz.
Mm-hmm.
He's somebody that nobody else wanted to run with her.
12 people turned it down before Tim Walz.
Yeah, and I'm sure 12 people turned down running for the nomination before she took it.
Maybe.
So I think they're both in the same boat. But then why don't they let them do interviews? Maybe she refuses to do it. I think she's petrified because if they really wanted to throw her under the bus, they'd put her out in the public more and have her do interviews more. But maybe she just won't do it.
I think they're trying.
Maybe she just flat out refuses.
I think they're trying, and she's afraid to do it.
Well, then she is self-aware because she knows how stupid she looks.
To a certain extent, she's self-aware.
She must be. If she's afraid to do interviews and afraid to take questions, she must know how bad she is at it.
Yeah, and it just came out today that Tulsi Gabbard's expected to come out and formally endorse Trump tonight. Yeah. Okay? And this goes back to what Robert Kennedy said over the weekend. Yeah. Bobby Kennedy said there's going to be a series of events with Trump with Democrats coming out and endorsing him. And what I've been telling you guys this weekend about this is this. The Democrat Party has been taken over by anti-American, pro-terrorist, radical lunatics. And there are people in the Democrat Party, like Bobby Kennedy and others, who want to get their party back and purge themselves of these terrorists and radicals, the people that want to burn down America, that are behind this invasion through the southern border.
But do you think Trump should help them do that?
Yeah, because we got, the enemy.
How does it help us if there were Democrats get back to where they used to be?
Well, we got to think in the immediate, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And this election, if Trump does not win this election, the United States is over as a country. I think pretty much that's a given. In 4 more years, what would happen? So if we've got to ally ourselves with some Democrats to help get us over the hump in some areas where it might be a little difficult, which Robert Kennedy's helping us do, we got to do it and worry about the Democrats being regrouped when they regroup. We can't worry about that now.
I think after being shot, I think Trump really wants to bring the country together. And I think he sees things differently now.
Yeah.
And his new strategy is to bring – people are so divided. But, it's always been that way. So I don't know if he'll be able to do this. But Trump can move mountains. But I've seen people on X upset because he's become a little more moderate with – I think he's always been moderate on abortion. Okay, personally, I think he's always been a little moderate on it. And now that they're bringing in Democrats, I've seen a lot of people that are like upset with Trump. Well, I'm not voting for him. I don't know if they never were going to vote for him or if they're really upset about it. But here's the difference. You have to put aside your feelings on certain things and let some things go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Franklin Graham said, or Jerry Falwell Jr., one of them said, you have to let some things go and look at the big picture. If you don't vote for Trump because you're upset that he brought in RFK or Tulsi Gabbard, you're going to get Harris.
That's right.
You're going to get communism. So trying to take one of these stands on principle is selfish, and it's not going to help the country. And I have no problem with people coming together. I am not a black and white thinker. If he can bring people together from either side for the good of the country, as long as they're doing what's right for us and the country, what is the problem here?
Exactly.
If he brings in RFK and Tulsi and they're all aligned with the same goals in mind, and Elon Musk and whoever, but they're all aligned with closing the border, fixing the economy, manufacturing here, becoming energy independent, how is that bad? You have to stop thinking in terms of black, white, Democrat, Republican, us versus them. He wants to end that. And I really think after getting shot, it seems more than ever, he really sees the gravity of the situation. And I personally believe Trump was put in this position by God to unite the country. So let him do it. Let him do it and support him and put your own ego aside.
Well, a lot of these Democrats, like Tulsi Gabbard is liberal on a lot of things, okay? And so is Robert Kennedy.
Well, I know you've attacked her like crazy.
But if they're going to come together and help bring some of their people over so we can win and save the country, and then in 4 years or 8 years, then we can talk about and debate all these other issues. These other issues are important, but they don't mean anything if we lose the country. So you're okay,
because I know you don't like Tulsi.
I don't trust her.
You've attacked her over and over and over again. Now you seem to be more welcome to her having some kind of a position here.
Well, I trust in Trump, and Trump knows what he's got to do to win. And it looks like, and this is something you guys got to accept or not accept, but I'm with Trump for life, okay? It looks like Trump is putting together that team of rivals that we always heard about with Lincoln. And he very well may have a cabinet that have people like Bobby Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard in it. And if you're either with Trump or you're not, this is very important stuff. But I'll tell you,
Obama talked about doing that, and he never did.
The team of rivals that Lincoln put together, it fell apart. Most of them were gone. Okay, after the first year. Okay,
why?
It just there was a civil war going on.
It
didn't last. A lot of them fell apart.
Problem, yeah.
So I'm not worried at all. If Trump trusts Tulsi, if Trump trusts Bobby Kennedy, I trust them because I trust in Trump. And you've got to do that. President Trump knows a lot more about everything that's going on than we know. What we know, and this goes for you out there, not just us, this is all of us, what we know is surface compared to what Trump knows. And Trump sees the internal polls. And I believe, Kathy, that Tulsi Gabbard, think about it, Kathy. Tulsi Gabbard is from Hawaii. She is incredibly popular in Hawaii. Tulsi Gabbard could give us Hawaii.
You should do a rally there.
And I know
that might be kind of fun.
Yeah,
do an outdoor rally on the beach. It's beautiful there in Maui or something.
Yeah,
or on Honolulu.
And it's I don't know how many electoral college votes are from Hawaii. Not many, but it's small. But Tulsi Gabbard and Bobby Kennedy can help it. And not only can they help us win people, they may not help us win. They could help us win states. They may not. But they can help us win congressional seats. So I welcome these people. It is so difficult for Bobby Kennedy to go to a Trump rally. You know how difficult that must be for him to do? Go into a Republican presidential campaign rally?
Yeah.
A Kennedy?
I'm sure he mulled it over for a long, long time. And he made a very funny video. I follow him on TikTok or Instagram. He's got a beautiful home, by the way. And he was cooking for his dogs. And he was making steak and chicken and putting it like with rice or so, their dog food. And he said, I'm cooking for my dogs. And he had 2 beautiful dogs there, and his house is gorgeous. And he said, because the media said I ate dog once, and he said it really upset my dogs. Mm-hmm. So I have to give them my dinner now because they're mad at me. And it was kind of funny how he had a joke with it. But I think you're right. I think bringing people together is always a good thing as long as they are helping.
They're not turning Trump liberal. They're not turning Trump Democrat. What they're saying is we're losing. Now,
he's trying to eliminate these extremes.
We got to win.
And come a little more together in the middle to win for the greater good of America. Otherwise, you're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
You're never going to get anywhere. And I love this whole the deep state and the Democrats, the Democratic media are completely imploding. They have completely come unglued, and they have lost complete control of their party. I think internally, the Democratic Party is like a DEFCON 1. Okay, I think things are so bad that they don't want to tell you. But I read this article that there's a new marginalized group, white men.
That's true.
In Gen Z, I read, are turning to Trump because they feel marginalized. They feel ignored. They feel that they are being maligned. And it's true. Mm-hmm. And it said this in this article that young white men, or young men in particular in Generation Z, it might have been men in particular, young men in their early 20s, are voting for Trump because the Democratic Party is villainizing them so much. And I love this Gen Z, our daughters in that generation. They're really turning really more conservative. And Trump is really reaching out to them and appealing to them in the same way that Bill Clinton reached out to young Democrats when he was running and won them over. And it's nice to see young people turning away from this radicalization, anti-male, misandric theology of the Democrats, that it's like all men are bad and all white people are bad. It's absurd. You're born racist if you're white. This whole ideology of painting males, and particularly white males, as these horrible people, I'm glad that this generation is finally turning away from that and not embracing it.
Now, we have pretty much every MyPillow product there is. If someone doesn't have any of the MyPillow products, what do you think is like what they should start with, Kathy?
Well, they have a lot of things going on right now. They have that $25 sale. They have MyPillow bed sheets for $25. They have the towels for $25
with our promo code Kane.
With the promo code Kane. They have a 2-pack multi-use MyPillow with different designs, $25. The MyPillow 2.0, the sandals. It really depends on what your needs are. They now have pet beds that's starting at $25, and they have pet blankets, which are really cool. If you have like a big dog that likes to lay on the couch, you could put a blanket over your couch. They sell those as well. So they have blankets for people and for pets. And also, if you get the My Mattress Topper, it comes with a free set of sheets, and that's on sale too. And they still have free shipping on orders over $75. Do you realize it's almost September? I can't believe how fast August is going by. And it really is time to start thinking about shopping for the holidays. And if you have kids, my nephew just went to FSU. He went to my alma mater, my sister's alma mater. She just dropped him off. And she set him up with a bunch of stuff, MyPillow stuff for his bedding, because the dorm beds are very uncomfortable. So if you know somebody in your family or a friend that has a kid that just went off to college, you can send them some stuff to set them up so they sleep comfortably. They'll really love it. And there's just a lot of great things there to check out.
And don't forget the MyPillow towel set, just $25 a set with our promo code Kane. Now, you can take advantage of all the specials at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And remember, when you use our promo code Kane, not only are you getting these great MyPillow products, you're supporting this program, the podcast, my YouTube channel, the radio show, and all of my content. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, for huge savings. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
Are you ready to elevate your health and your wellness? Look no further than Nutrix, the ultimate destination for top quality supplements and personal care products that are designed to help you look and feel your very best. Whether you're pushing the limits at the gym, striving to have radiant, beautiful skin, or just looking to boost your overall health, from their powerful fat burners to specialized supplements, you can revolutionize yourself from the inside out with their premium protein and collagen collection. You'll experience stronger hair, healthier skin, and enhanced joint health with their expertly formulated products. You'll feel your best with each and every step. Their personal care and beauty collection is designed to enhance your natural shine and will help you radiate confidence every day. Founded by a father and his son, they're dedicated to elevate every day, combining the power of nature and science to bring you the best in health and wellness. Whether you're a busy professional, a dedicated athlete, or seeking a healthier lifestyle, Nutrix will support you with trusted, effective supplements. If you're ready to fuel your workout, have peak performance, unleash your potential, maximize gains, and push your limits, visit Nutrixu.com. That's Nutrixu, and take your wellness journey to the next level. Nutrixu.com. In today's world, it's information overload. It's everywhere you go. Social media, school, work. The facts just keep flying at you. It's safe to say we're all a little drunk with facts. But sorting through all that information can be a challenge. That's where the Drunk with Facts podcast comes in. Drunk with Facts covers everything. Climate change, food, monsoons in Arizona. And that's just the beginning. Drunk with Facts takes the overwhelming flood of facts and breaks them all down for you and puts them in perspective. It's educational, but it's a lot of fun too. Whether you're curious about the latest headlines or just want to learn something new, Drunk with Facts has you covered. It's the perfect mix of knowledge and entertainment designed to keep you informed and entertained. Add Drunk with Facts to your Spotify playlist. It's also on YouTube and Rumble. Subscribe today and get your facts straight without the hangover. Drunk with Facts, where learning is always a good time. Have you been looking for an all-natural solution for your muscle pain, anxiety, and to help you sleep better? Then visit earthyco.shop. At earthyco.shop, you'll discover a natural remedy designed for your wellness. earthyco.shop's magnesium oil spray is sourced directly from the Dead Sea. This 100% pure magnesium chloride solution has already helped over 10,000 people. It's easy to use, highly absorbent, and provides targeted relief. With just 10 sprays, you'll receive 150 milligrams of magnesium for a potent, natural wellness boost. Plus, it's delivered in premium-grade glass with no BPA, microplastics, or harmful residues. Did you know that over 75% of America's population is deficient in magnesium? This vital mineral plays a critical role in over 300 biochemical reactions in your body, from energy production to heart health, as well as mood regulation. Earthyco.shop's magnesium oil spray ensures that you get the essential magnesium you need directly through your skin, which is the body's largest organ. There are no additives, no fragrances, nothing is artificial, just pure, 100% natural ingredients. Don't wait. Reclaim your health and your well-being today by visiting earthyco.shop. Your path to natural wellness starts now. earthyco.shop.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. You know, when President Trump, when they were asking him about Kamala changing the debate rules. He talked about watching this interview with Tom Cotton over the weekend with Jonathan Karl from ABC News. And Trump saw it, and he didn't like how Jonathan Karl reacted. And, he's going into the lines on ABC News. I wanted to play this. This was insane what happened with Jonathan Karl. He's an open advocate for Kamala Harris. Listen.
And President Trump is going to draw a sharp contrast with Kamala Harris, who has supported things like decriminalizing illegal immigration or giving taxpayer-funded health insurance to illegal aliens or taking away health insurance on the job for 170 million Americans, banning gas cars, confiscating firearms.
What do you mean taking away health insurance? What are you talking about?
She said when she ran for president that she wants to eliminate private health insurance on the job for 170 million Americans, John.
Yeah, I mean that is not her position now.
How do you know that's not her position? How do you know that's not her position?
I mean, she says she no longer supports Medicare for all.
She has not said that. Maybe anonymous aides on a Friday night have said that, but the last thing that she said.
But this was not a radical convention. I mean, she as you heard me go through with Bernie Sanders, she is not taking the positions of the far left of her party. She's clearly making an effort to move to the middle.
I did hear what you said to Senator Sanders, and I thought it was clear that he's very disappointed that she's taking these efforts.
So what this is an interesting thing, because what he's doing with that, is Jonathan Karl. He's saying, well, Kamala no longer has that position. Cotton says, how do you know? She hasn't done any interviews or press conferences. So how do you know she's changed her positions?
Exactly.
Unless you've heard it from her. Things get talked about in the media like she's out there stating positions.
Right.
She's not doing that at all.
No.
And we've never seen a presidential campaign like this. It's a joke.
Yeah. No, it is a joke. And they all know it, and they're all covering her butt, basically.
Yeah, like I got a call from this guy today. I was talking about this unrealized capital gains tax that Kamala's campaign has talked about. And unrealized capital gains is a difficult thing to explain. I'll explain it real quick. I use the example with a house because it's the easiest to understand. If you bought your house for, say, $100,000, and today it is worth $200,000, but you don't sell it, you're just living in it, but it's now valued at $200,000 because real estate goes up. Kamala is proposing this new tax, unrealized capital gains, which means you haven't benefited from it yet. She wants to tax you 25% of that extra $100,000 that your home is worth, even though you haven't sold it. And I got 2 calls today from the seminar callers, and they said, well, that's only that unrealized capital gains tax will only apply to people that make over $100 million a year. And
Whatever.
I said, well, how do you know that?
Exactly.
And he says, well, it's been reported. I said, have you heard Kamala say that?
Right.
Right? She really has said nothing about her positions on anything. So what people are going by, like Tom Cotton, and this is all we have to go by, are positions she's vocalized in the past.
What I would say if I was Tom Cotton or somebody else doing that next time, if a reporter says that, I would say pull up the audio where she says it. Pull up the video, because I want to hear it come out of her mouth.
Exactly.
Pull up that video. You're in the news. Have your producer pull up a video of her actually saying it in a press conference. Sorry, she doesn't do press conferences, or in an interview.
Exactly.
Where has she personally said this?
Yeah, exactly. And
they won't have it because she doesn't.
Now, I came across this video today on X. This is insane. This is a spokesperson from NASA. Okay, and NASA, they're hosting a DEI training workshop for NASA personnel.
This is why those people are stuck in there.
Yeah.
Because they have people with DEI working there.
DEI didn't earn it.
That's right. That's why those astronauts can't get home.
I'm trying to get that didn't earn it thing to pick up.
Yeah.
I don't know if, I started that. DEI is the new name for affirmative action.
Right.
But NASA is supposed to be about space flight and such. But when Obama was president, they were about global warming.
Right.
Now they're about this DEI stuff. So this is a NASA spokesperson talking about their anti-racist DEI training workshop that they're going to have for NASA scientists. Can you imagine these guys back during the days of John Glenn and Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin dealing with this? You think Neil Armstrong would have gone up on a rocket ship to the moon with Buzz Aldrin if it was being run, organized, planned, built by these DEI people? I don't think so. And since we're talking about DEI and anti-racism, the woman talking from NASA is a white woman. Okay, just so you know.
Yeah, liberal white women are the biggest danger to our country.
Childless cat ladies.
These days, it's true.
Yeah. All right, listen.
And in doing this work of examining my own intentions and my own actions and their impact, I can see that there's so much more that I could have done to make the projects I've led equally welcoming to Black, Indigenous, and people of color as the white people they have engaged. I feel a lot of shame and regret about that. And I know that without looking head on at what I've done and not done, I won't be able to do better. So I'm looking forward to today's event and to this whole series as steps in my personal and professional journey to make my work more anti-racist and therefore more effective in reaching my aspiration.
And this may be a review for many of you, but these are those different characteristics that you probably see coming up a lot in our...
So this is from the actual workshop that NASA put out, and they put a slide up on a screen. White supremacy culture. This is on the slide for NASA employees. White supremacy culture, perfectionism, defensiveness, worship of the written word, either or thinking, objectivity.
What do you mean worship of the written word? They
I
mean
have
the
no
Bible?
idea. I have no idea.
Well, I think that means the Bible, isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, that's how I've heard people refer to the Bible as the written word.
I don't know what else they could be talking about.
Cases, especially in the practice of science, perfectionism, a sense of urgency. I'm sure all of us are feeling a sense of urgency about some of the deadlines that we maybe have right now. The idea of power hoarding, the idea of individualism over collectivism.
See, that's collectivism is communism.
Yeah.
Individualism is freedom.
This is all about brainwashing white
Quantity
people.
over quality, either or thinking. And so all of these things can really limit the way we go about doing our work, and they can really limit the way we are able to connect with communities that come from different cultural backgrounds that don't value these things the same way that white supremacy culture values them.
Okay. I mean,
so as opposed to thinking like a white person, we're supposed to think like a Black person. So how is that any different? How is that not racist? I mean, this is so stupid. So she's saying that all the way that our society, a lot of people that are believing in this believe that everything that happens in our society is based on white culture, bigotry, white supremacy. And so what, doing deadlines is white supremacy? Having a deadline is white. So what, they don't want to meet their deadlines? And they're lowering the standards of everything and saying that's how Black people do it. Isn't that racist to say that?
And
that's just crazy.
NASA has 2 people stranded on the space station till next year with this Boeing rocket. They can't get them down.
Unbelievable.
This woman here has her dog barking in the background because she's doing the workshop from home. I think NASA's got some other problems to worry about other than this DEI. You know, this is the problem, like with the Secret Service, how Trump got shot. You know, they have lowered the bar in our most elite organizations. NASA and the Secret Service are 2 of the most elite government organizations that we've had in the past, and they've lowered the standards, like the lactating Secret Service agent on Trump's detail that left her post last week.
They're basically saying having high standards is a white thing and having low standards is a Black thing. That's basically what they're saying, which is racist to say that.
Yeah.
They're so racist they don't even realize.
Well, that's how liberals are.
They're saying. Their tactic is to shame white people.
Yeah.
I remember I saw an episode of Oprah a long time ago. I know you've seen this episode where a white woman apologized to her Black mailman.
The UPS driver. I was just talking about this the other day on the radio.
It was the most ridiculous thing. She was in tears. So this is not new. This shaming of white people for slavery or their thinking, or it's absurd. I agree that there might be some things possibly that can be culturally different based on your family background or your ethnicity. That is not untrue. You might have different foods, listen to different music, be exposed to different things, hang out with different types of people. That's not racism. That's just having some cultural differences, and one is not better than the other. So to sit here and say that meeting a deadline or being stressed out about being concerned about something is white, and we should do the opposite and not meet deadlines. And I mean, this is just strange. This is justifying DEI. What they're doing is they're lowering standards and justifying it so they can get their foot in the door because they're not qualified. And I'm not saying black people aren't qualified. Look at the movie Hidden Figures. You had all those black women that were engineers that were helping NASA. It's not about, so it's nothing to do with that.
What it's about is
brainwashing.
Is they have liberals running everything, and they have their priorities screwed up.
Yeah,
NASA has 2 people stuck in space right now. You know, could you imagine?
Well, they're dividing people by race.
Could you imagine if these idiots were running NASA during that Apollo 13 thing? Those astronauts never would have made it back.
No, they'd be screwed.
You know, there's certain things that you don't bring DEI into because you could get people killed. Secret Service got a guy killed.
I don't think it should come into anything.
NASA, they got people stuck in space. I mean, you know, let them do the little experiments at the college campuses, but don't do your experiments where people's lives are in jeopardy. Now, we got some more information from Kamala Harris. What Kamala Harris is asking for her campaign with the ABC News debate is not just to be able to take notes. She wants to bring notes with her. So she wants to bring a cheat sheet.
Let her. I think they should let her. Let the American people see her reading her crib notes, okay?
Yeah.
Is she going to write it on her arm too in Sharpie? Let the American people see her reading off notes when Trump doesn't have to. I think he should let her do whatever the F she wants.
Oh, yeah.
And not do a damn thing like with Biden because she'll be shooting herself in the foot.
You know,
let her bring the damn notes.
There's a video that I saw.
She'll look like a fool.
Yeah. There's a video that I saw for the first time today. I've never seen this video before. Maybe some of you have. But this video alone, if it were anyone else, if this were a Republican, it would be over. There's this video of Kamala when she was in the Senate. And there's a press conference with the senators. It's Kamala Harris, another senator I can't remember, and Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer's the leader, so he's leading the press conference. Kamala says something as she's standing next to him, and he shuts her up.
Yeah, and she made like a face like a little kid got caught with her hand in the cookie
And he looked
jar.
over, he made this hand gesture and told her to shut up, and she did it. And you look at this video. I retweeted this. It's on my X, Brian Craig Show on X on Twitter.
Yeah, it's incredible.
If she can't stand up to Schumer, how is Kamala going to stand up to Putin? How is she going to stand up to Kim Jong-un?
That video showed me that she is not tough at all. They like to act like she's all tough.
Not at all.
She's not tough at all. If you watch that video,
no, not at all.
She backed down so fast and made a face, and she was like a little kid that got reprimanded by their parent. If she was really a tough, strong woman, she would have looked at him and she would have said, "You can go F yourself. You don't ever talk to me like that in public or any time. Who the hell do you think you are?"
Yeah.
But she just sat there and, okay. I mean, could you imagine if Trump talked to a woman of color like that, of all things?
Or any woman.
Period.
And Kamala,
oh, my gosh, it'd be the end of the world.
And this thing with Schumer is he did it on television, right? It was on television.
He is a nasty person.
He told her to shut up on television, and she said, okay. She didn't stand up to him at all.
Nope.
And, she at the time, she was a sitting United States senator. She can talk whenever she wants when you're a United States senator. And if Charles Schumer told me to shut up, I'd tell him to shut up.
Exactly. I'd say, who the hell do you think you are? You shut up.
Exactly.
I mean, what am I, 12?
I have never seen something like this. Now,
very disrespectful.
I want to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing and Contracting. You know, he's been with us on the radio for a long, long time. If you're in the state of Florida and you need a roof repair or you need a new roof, you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. He's a good MAGA guy. He'll take very good care of you. He works on every type of structure there is, both residential and commercial. And he also works with every type of roofing material there is, okay? And there's a lot of different types of roofing materials that people use these days. So if you are in the state of Florida and you have a wet spot on your ceiling and you need a roof repair, if you need a new roof, call Tom Laporta. I'm going to give you his cell phone number in just a moment. Also, if you're in a condo or HOA, He is an expert working with condominium boards and HOAs as well. And in the state of Florida, the HOAs, they're like tyrants, and he works with them very, very well and can help you out there too. Tom Laporta's number is 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. Again, that's 954-604-4602 for Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting and Roofing. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
Author Anthony L. Abraham will take you on a mind-bending journey where nightmares take shape and sinister stories and twisted tales. The ultimate anthology of sci-fi and cosmic horror. Available on Amazon. Sinister Stories and Twisted Tales is a mind-bending journey that will leave you questioning everything. You'll navigate the dark corridors of the human psyche. You'll experience a mother's desperate fight to save her son, a man's pursuit of forbidden technology to protect his daughter, and the quiet terror of 57 minutes. In Smiley Face, betrayal and revenge take on a terrifying new form. Each story in this anthology is an unsettling, thought-provoking exploration into the unknown. It's perfect for fans of Black Mirror, The Twilight Zone, and the works of Philip K. Dick, H.P. Lovecraft, and Stephen King. Sinister Stories and Twisted Tales, the ultimate anthology of sci-fi and cosmic horror. From author Anthony L. Abraham, is available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and Kindle Unlimited. Order your copy right now. Are you ready to transform your life and align with God's purpose? Then order your copy of the book from author Gary S. Park, Unlocking Your Faith, Seeking God's Purpose, A Journey of Faith, Overcoming Life's Challenges, and Embracing Spiritual Growth. In this inspiring book, the author takes readers on a transformative journey, shifting your focus from self to living with God. You'll unlock profound insights on embracing the teachings of the Word of God and discover how to infuse your daily life with spiritual meaning and purpose. With Unlocking Your Faith, you'll learn the essential elements of nurturing a robust prayer life and how to cultivate a mindset anchored in faith and positivity. You'll also gain valuable insights into the power of community and fellowship in strengthening your spiritual journey. Unlocking Your Faith, Seeking God's Purpose, A Journey of Faith, Overcoming Life's Challenges, and Embracing Spiritual Growth from author Gary S. Park is the book you've been waiting for. It's available on Amazon and the author's website, GarySPark.com. That's S as in Samuel. Order your copy right now. Are you searching for inspiration and insightful discussions that truly matter? Then add Strive and Unite with host Joshua Watkins to your podcast playlist, available on Apple Podcast. Strive and Unite brings you powerful stories of overcoming life's toughest challenges, as well as thought-provoking political conversations. Each episode features two powerful segments. First, in You're Not Alone, Joshua brings you moving stories of resilience. You'll hear from people who have overcome adversity, and they offer not just motivation, but a sense of belonging as well as community. These stories prove that with perseverance, nothing you set your mind to is out of reach. Then in Informed Voices, Joshua has rich political conversations, inviting experts as well as everyday people to weigh in on today's most pressing issues. This segment embraces a wide array of viewpoints, helping you stay informed and encouraging you to take an active role in the world around you. Together, these segments make Strive and Unite a must-listen-to podcast. Strive and Unite not only promotes personal growth and unity, but also will broaden your understanding of the world. Join Joshua Watkins on this journey of exploration and empowerment with Strive and Unite on Apple Podcast.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Okay, so Tulsi Gabbard, she officially came out and endorsed Trump. Let me play this and we'll talk about it.
To the brink of nuclear war than we ever have been before. This is one of the main reasons why I'm committed to doing all that I can to send President Trump back to the White House, where he can once again serve us as our commander-in-chief. because I am confident that his first task will be to do the work to walk us back from the brink of war. We cannot be prosperous unless we are at peace. And we can't live free as long as we have a government that is retaliating against it to the brink of nuclear war.
Okay. Now, this is awesome stuff. I'll tell you a couple things, because I know some of you are going to say, oh, you've been trashing Tulsi Gabbard for a long time. Well, we'll talk about that. Couple things. I told you guys when this campaign first started, I said, President Trump, because this election is so important, he's going to bring people into the campaign that you might not like and I might not like, but Trump approves of them. We've got to support them. Okay, I will support anyone that Trump brings into the mix and says is okay. Okay, so if he brings in Tulsi Gabbard and he says she's okay, I've got to trust in Trump, right? If you don't trust Trump, you can trust no one. You might as well just give up, right?
Exactly.
He's the only one that's looking to save us. Exactly.
What's the other option?
And, so far as Tulsi Gabbard, all those things I've said about her were true, okay? Now, Ronald Reagan used to be a Democrat. Not only was he a Democrat, he was a union boss. He was the president of the Screen Actors Guild in Hollywood, very left-wing and all that. And so it's possible Tulsi Gabbard has woken up and been red-pilled. Bobby Kennedy hasn't been red-pilled. He's still a Democrat. Maybe Tulsi Gabbard has been red-pilled. I don't know. But I know that, I've been telling you guys, the way it used to work, the Democrats and the Republicans disagreed on a lot of big issues, abortion's like the biggest one, but there's always been issues, right? In the 80s, the Democrats were very vocal against Ronald Reagan's military arms buildup against the Soviet Union. But we still shared some basic ideas. America's the greatest country in the world. It's a capitalist country. We have borders. There's these things are gone now. Right. And the Democrat Party of today does not believe in any – they don't have a shared culture with the rest of the country.
Well, because they have allowed their hatred of Trump to do that, because they will go against anything he's for.
That's correct.
Anything he's for, they're going to go against. So that's the problem with that. Mm-hmm. That's what's going on there.
Yeah.
That's what's creating this huge division. Even when he says things that obviously make sense and are right – they're going to go against it just because they hate him so much.
Mm-hmm. And, just because I've been talking about Tulsi Gabbard, exposing her wackadoodle positions all this time, doesn't mean I've got some ego problem and I can't say to myself, well, maybe I was wrong. Trump says
maybe she's changed.
Maybe she has changed.
She was in the National Guard. I would love to hear her talk about Tim Walz.
I think she still is. She's a lieutenant colonel in the National Guard.
I would love to hear her address Tim Walz, and she might be a consultant for both debates because she destroyed Kamala and she is in the National Guard, and she could give J.D. Vance a lot of intel on that, and she might be consulting both of them
maybe
in that regard. That might be a position for her.
What's possible? It's, again, people can change. President Trump used to be a Democrat. Ronald Reagan used to be a Democrat. So people can change. I don't know that she's changed or not. But Trump's backed her. He's supporting her. Yeah. He could make Tulsi Gabbard the Secretary of Defense. It would not surprise me at all.
He might. You have to be open-minded here, guys. Yeah. Okay? You have to be open-minded and deal with what's happening in the now. Mm-hmm. And deal with what Trump is doing is trying to bring the country together. And you need both parties. He wants to do what's best for America. And if you have to bring in people from the other side to do that,
to drain
that's
the swamp.
What you have to do. And I think that it seems that they all have this common connection of taking on these big corporations, big pharma, and with the deep state, is that we call it, is these
draining the swamp,
huge money machines that are influencing the military-industrial complex. All these things that are controlling the government, where the corruption is, the most of the corruption. And I think they're collectively working together to do something about it. So you have to keep that in mind.
What's happened is the Democrats, the media, they've been so successful at dividing the country to a level we never have been really since the Civil War, really. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And what President Trump is doing is putting together this coalition of people that are Democrats to join the mix that support this country and are not about burning it down. You know, when the Democrats at their convention, they were doing abortions in the parking lot and that mobile Planned Parenthood abortion unit and burning flags. When they were burning flags, what they're really saying is America needs to be burned down and start over with it in their image. You know, and there's a lot of Democrats out, Tulsi Gabbard, Robert Kennedy. There's going to be others, right? I mean, we had one on Friday. We got one on Monday. And Robert Kennedy implied there would be several at least. There's a lot of Democrats out there who support America.
Put it this way. Look what happened when Trump was first president. And look at the people he surrounded himself with. They were all supposedly Republican. Yeah. And on his side,
Sessions.
They all effed him over. They all screwed him over. And
General Kelly.
And they screwed over us. Yeah. They lied about him. They were horrible
Scaramucci.
people. He said that Milley is an idiot. Yeah. And this is why he fired all these people. He said that Milley didn't want him to bring back the military planes in Afghanistan to leave them there. Well, why do you think Milley wanted to do that?
Because he got paid off.
Somebody probably paid him off to do that because they're now selling those planes. And Trump said, why don't we just fill them with gas and fly them home? And Milley said, oh, no, that's too expensive. He said, more expensive than leaving an $80 million plane behind?
Exactly.
They're corrupt. And all these people are corrupt. And he realizes that now. He says, I know what everybody's about now. I know what they're all about. And then they'd go to the press and make up stories about Trump that he maligned veterans. And meanwhile, today, he was at Arlington Cemetery for the fallen 13 that died with the Afghanistan disaster. No, Biden didn't show up. It was his fault. Those guys got killed. Was Biden there?
Or Kamala?
No. Or Kamala. Trump was there because he cares. And because he knows that when you're a leader, you show up no matter what.
And CNN says he's using it as a political
Biden
stunt.
looks at his watch when they're bringing dead people off a plane that died. He's looking at his watch because he wants to know what time he can get out of there to go sit on the beach.
What we need and what Trump is doing is he's bringing the country back together. And half the country is one party and half the country is the other. We're always pretty much equally divided.
Trump's creating a new party, a party of common sense.
And I don't think Robert Kennedy is going to go back to is going to become a Republican. You never know, but I doubt it.
What I'm saying is Trump realizes that there are people on the right that are really not conservative at all.
That's right.
And I feel like Trump's creating a new party of common sense. People from both sides that collectively want to make the country better.
Yeah, we have to stop with this division and be unified as a country, which we are not right now. And, like this thing with Tulsi Gabbard, okay? And Vivek Ramaswamy's with, I trashed him a lot too because these people all have problems. But Trump brings them in the mix. We got to forget about all that. You can't say, well, I got an ego and I'm going to keep going after them. If Trump approves of them, they're okay. Right. And that's it. There's no more. For example, somebody called me today on the morning show and they were attacking the speaker. Trump said, don't do that. He says, we don't want to be attacking each other, right? We got to be united right now. We don't want to be attacking people inside our own party. And I agree with that. It's not productive. You want to focus everything on Kamala.
There's bigger things at stake here than egos.
And pettiness.
And pettiness. And I think he saw that firsthand. And maybe he did some of that too. And I think since somebody tried to kill him, I think he sees the bigger picture now. And it gained him a new perspective and more wisdom. And it's not about him it's not about ego. It's about the country. And he knows this is his last shot to get this right.
Yeah.
He's not going to run again. And if he doesn't win,
he'll win. I'm not worried.
He will win. I agree with you. I think he's going to win in a landslide. He knows what the stakes are, and I think we all do. And people are coming out. I was telling you last night that the quarterback to the Chiefs, I think his name's Patrick Mahomes. He's a very good quarterback because they won the Super Bowl. His best friend is dating Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. And Patrick Mahomes' wife, I think her name's Brittany, If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. She liked one of Trump's posts on Instagram, and the left had an absolute meltdown. And she told them to grow up. Exactly. She said, grow up, and whatever issues you have from childhood, grow up and get over it. And good for her, for Brittany Mahomes, and for standing up. So Patrick Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes are Trump people. And so somebody left a comment on X. They're like, well, now I guess I have to be a Chiefs fan. The Chiefs are a good team, but if you follow football, that's just an interesting and Caitlin Clark came out. Her and her boyfriend are Trump people. So you are seeing people now, young people. These are all younger people. They're all in their 20s that are coming out supporting Trump. And I think being in sports, they really see there's a lot of this DEI nonsense in sports and kneeling in the flag and the anthem and all this garbage. And I think they see it firsthand where sports have become very political and not just about getting together. I mean, even sports divide. Sports are supposed to bring people together. Now people are like getting lectured at concerts about their politics. There's music groups that'll say, if you like Trump, don't come. I mean, that's just crazy to me. Those things are supposed to bring you together.
Like this thing with Tulsi Gabbard today. And I was talking to you earlier. Trump could win Hawaii over that. She is so popular.
I would love for him to do a rally there on the beach with her.
And it's not just Hawaii. The more of these Democrats, there's a lot of people in the country who just they see Republicans, they see Trump in this way, and Robert Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard, and whoever the others that come out, they'll let these people know it's okay. It's kind of like it's the walk away movement at a whole nother level.
Has a president ever done a rally in Hawaii? They don't have a lot of electoral votes.
Obama did some things in Hawaii,
that's true,
but I don't know if he did an event in Hawaii.
I think he might have, because that's where he's from. But anybody else?
That's where he says he's from.
Well, he did live there.
Maybe. Do you know?
I'd love to see Trump do that one there, right in front of that big mountain.
When Obama says he lived in Hawaii, he lived in an apartment with his grandparents, and the neighbor, when he was president, the person that lived next door to them still lived in the apartment building, and they did not remember having a black kid living next door to them. I don't know. I don't know, but I know that.
I mean, we don't really talk to our neighbors, but I know who they are. I mean, I see them outside and walking by.
Well, if everybody
I know who lives there.
Kathy, if everybody's white and there's one black kid living next door, you would know.
Yeah.
There used to be a black kid living next door. They didn't ask if they knew Barack Obama. They didn't remember a black kid living next door in like an all-white building. But regardless of this, you know, if Trump says someone's okay, they're okay by me, and you should be the same way. And I know a lot of people say, well, he's picked some bad people in the past.
Yeah.
You never know.
Learned from his mistakes.
You never know who's going to betray you until they betray you. Okay?
This is why he's not working with the typical usual. If you notice, he is not working with the typical usual people. He's working with Charlie Kirk. He's working with Benny
Gabbard,
Johnson,
Robert
Kennedy. And, you know, he's had long conversations with these people that we don't know about. You know, he's had meetings with these people, many of them. I'm sure he's talked to Tulsi many times. Look at JD.
That's amazing.
He once called Trump Hitler. And now he's his vice president. So if anybody tells you Trump has a big ego, obviously he does not, because he can overlook even something like that for the greater good of the country, then you can too.
That's right. Now, I want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters. If you would like to support the program by becoming a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of the episode. And remember, Patreon supporters have access to commercial-free editions of all of our podcast episodes. Our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on every podcast episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Mike P, Carlos, Paulette, John, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Richard, Alice, K-Mac, LeeZep, Shawna, Constance, George, Brandon, Rob, and Trish, Wilkerson, Christy R., and John S. These are our top Patreon supporters. And again, there's a link to our Patreon page in the description of every episode of the program. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. This is going to be a big week. A lot of stuff's happening. And we're going to be covering it all. I'm really hoping that on election night, we get the results like really early. Like, you know how I do those early morning streams before I go to the radio show, like at 2:30 in the morning? I'm hoping I get up and I can do a live stream at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning after, and Trump is the president-elect again. And that
would be amazing.
With people coming out of the woodwork like Tulsi Gabbard and Bobby Kennedy supporting Trump, I want you to think about this before we go. The Kennedys are the bedrock of the Democrat Party and have been for 60 years, right? There's two top Kennedys. I know he's not the oldest, but there's two top Kennedys, Robert Kennedy Jr. and Caroline Kennedy. And for Robert Kennedy to walk away from the Democrat Party and endorse any Republican for president is not an easy thing to do. He's so fed up with the Democrat Party. Those are his friends and family, his whole circle. You imagine how many other people around the country that don't have that connection that he has to the top people in the Democrat Party are fed up with the Democrat Party. We could have a landslide where we know by 8 or 9 o'clock, Kathy, it could be that way. The whole East Coast could go Trump.
And it's possible the Democratic Party was in on the assassinations of his uncle and father. I mean, Johnson was in on it. That's what some people think.
I believe so. I believe Johnson was in on it.
How can his family defend them?
That's what
I
blows.
don't understand that. It blows
Kathy,
my mind.
That's what really shocked me. I was talking about that this morning. All the Kennedys have come out and trashed Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah.
They know more than we know, probably, some of them, that the deep state of this country killed both President Kennedy, killed their uncle and their father, okay? These Kennedys, and they're supporting these people now? The people that killed their uncle and their father?
That's how Democrats are. That's how stupid and crazy they are.
That is insane. That's insane. Well, we're out of time for today. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next time.